Hello, God's eagle eyes, chosen ones, YouTubers, full time, part time, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Paula Cook, and we're talking about mental illness is real. My whole channel is about just taking care of ourselves and just advocating to let people know that we could still have a regular life. We only living with this. I'm living with bipolar 2 um, disorder, and I just practice to better myself and to stay in control of my triggerness or whatever going on. I just try to stay in control in different, however I can. By reading the Bible, therapy, the way I eat, make sure I exercise. If I don't go outside, I exercise around my apartment. Prayers, excuse me, sharpening my mind, not just on working as a full-time content creator, but just off the net, having a regular life, So society has been put a stigma uh, against mental illness, where back in the day, nobody really acknowledged it. They swept it up under the rug, and they'd be like, this person walking down the street, you don't know what they traumatized were as a child and what all they've been through or what have you. And this who was that? That's so crazy John walking down the street, or that's so crazy Mary walking down the street. And we just got to stop using certain words as well. So now, since we're being educated, and that's what I do, I educate peers because we're all peers. I educate the peers uh, on my experiences of all my life that I've dealt with since 5 years old, depression because of losing my father, my grandparents, all of this stuff just piles up and everything. And educating on what I've observed on peers that I advocate and mentor, observing and resources that can help with 50 and up, like uh, senior living, like what I'm living in and everything. And, it's really something. You tell somebody, say, yeah, I'm living with bipolar 2 disorder. It's like they get real quiet. To anyone else, is nothing to broadcast. Like, woo, I'm a queen of whatever, but I'm bipolar 2 of America. People, they be like. But then what's so funny is, um, it's good to get to know the person first. And I noticed the celebrities and stuff, people, once you watch them for centuries or whatever, um, they become great actors and actresses. And then later they come out and say, yeah, when I was making that movie, I was suicidal, I was depressed. And sad to say, some of them did, commit suicide during the timing or die, something, whatever it was, during the time of that filming and everything. And so that's really sad. That's really sad. So it's no joke, but people tend to, you know, and I do too, at a certain extent that I can't handle, because I've known some people that are schizophrenic, and I can't handle it because they're coming out all from different angles. Bipolar 2, our manic is it go high, it just goes strong one day. Like now I'm on a manic that I'm getting stuff done, I'm getting things accomplished. Then sometimes I can wake up and I feel like, ugh, I just want to stay in the bed all day. And then sometimes with my body, in fact, I did that the day before yesterday. I didn't stay in it all day, but as long as enough that when I got up, brushed my teeth, washed my face, and everything freshen up, I always push myself to do my walk around my apartment for a minute or two because of the healing of the arthritis in my spine. I get my little exercise in and I do it all different times a day, but I have a praise with it. I be thanking God, praising God. And then I go into my little meditation once I, do it and sit down and then read my Bible then, or I read it later. So that's why I say I encourage you all to read the Bible like it's a novel. And then it doesn't matter if it's some kind of translation for you to understand it, fine. That's even better. Read the Bible like it's a novel from Genesis to Revelation. So the stigma awareness against mental illness, uh, people they still have that. So what I do in my experience, and I'm not going to hold you long, um, I notice what I've started saying it to people, like they say they have a little. And then the ones that know me since high school, and I would tell them now, they're like, oh, I didn't know that. Or then my children, is still a shock to them, and then it skips generations, but it's still a shock to them. And honey, I laughed so hard. Uh, I joined this dating app, and I was just doing it because I'm not even in that space, when you but I'm gonna get to that. So I was like, I just put my picture up there and, full body picture. I was somewhere in a lab kind of thing and, just looking decent woman. And I had a lot of likes and stuff, so I click on there. If you click on it, that means it's a match. And so it was real cool setup. And honey, I got the craziest, just talk to them on the phone or text. It wasn't even about nothing for me. So, but, some people have good turnouts, but anyway, oh, excuse me. Anyway, I said, okay, I'm not getting any good, just somebody's talk to's friend. So I said, I'm gonna put on there, living with bipolar 2 disorder, advocate for mental health. And they start looking on there and realize, honey, it didn't take but 2 days, a day and a half. I did not get any approaches. I laugh. I'm the type of person. I said, learn to laugh at yourself. That's another part of my advocacy for mental health. Laugh at yourself. You would never run out of jokes. But when you laugh at others, it get boring. So you got to find something else to laugh. So why don't we laugh together? Okay. So I told somebody that, boy, she said, no, you didn't. I told my god sister that we hollered. She said, I just can't believe it. I said, I sure did. So people still have a stigma about it, but it's amazing how a lot of people are in denial. Something is wrong with them, but they don't see it. I thought I heard something, probably the neighbor upstairs. They don't see it. So a lot of people are in denial. Now, mental health, that's all over the world, especially after the COVID. What happened? The COVID, that was enough to be staying and shut in and all that. It remind me like the sick and shut in before the church, because somebody be sick. Honey, that was mental. People were finding out they didn't like each other, married all this time, were going to work and realized they couldn't stay around each other all that time. And then you had to homeschool the children. Some enjoyed it, some was already doing it. And they like, Lord, when these kids are, ooh, Lord, go outside. No, they want to stay in and play that game, making all that noise and stuff. So, but anyway, yeah. And when they find out that, children so cruel to each other, when a lot of the children have to take medicine, even in the elementary, high school, college. If somebody find out, then sometime when a girl get involved with the guy and she found out later something wrong with him, and then later she would find out he murdered somebody or she murdered someone, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And if you ever run into a situation that you're with someone and you're wondering why this person been acting and they acting a certain way, ask them more about their family background, which should have been asked way before y'all, start living together and having children together, because it passes on. It really do passes on. A lot of it become mental illness because of a trauma of them growing up. Something traumatized them. It could have been parents, domestic violence. It could be anything. Drinking. I have people I know of that's going deal with that now. Family members. And mental illness on both sides of my family. But I didn't know. I didn't think none of it. I didn't know. I decided I'm 58. I got diagnosed around 50 years old. I'm like, wow, I've been dealing with this all my life. I didn't know. I just needed a name for it, you know? So, yes, stigma awareness, stigma awareness against mental illness. And another thing, people would look at you funny. Someone told me this. And if people think you're normal, but you end up dating a guy that y'all know he had been in the mental institute and blah, 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 they're going to look at you funny. Or vice versa. They know this lady is, this and this and that. They're going to look at you funny, the guy. So it's sometimes a woman or a man will date you and you all marry and go through this and go through that, and all of a sudden you're wondering like, why this person blah 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 blah. Then you'll find out from a family member, oh, they was in a mental institution for a little while and blah 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 blah. And then she's gonna go to her spouse or her boyfriend and stuff, say, why you didn't tell me this at first? Well, I didn't want to come to where you didn't want to be with me anymore. And see, that's being that's not, that you're not being you don't respect, you didn't respect her way of knowing anything. That's not respect. It's not, you didn't respect that person to let them. It's just like, I knew someone that had HIV, you know, and they end up getting married. But they let the person know, look, they started getting to know each other and all that. Say, listen, they had HIV, say, I got HIV, blah, blah, blah. And they cared so much about that person, they just said, well, baby, they did the necessary things they need to do. I just stay, keep it, covered, wear the necessary things to wear when you be intimate. Because we all still human. We all still have feelings. And only thing I could say is Sometimes we feel like, oh, we'll never find nobody else because the way, if they know about we have it or we work somewhere and they know, and you may like that person, but man or woman, you know, um they're gonna be like, you feel like you're missing out on a blessing, or they could be missing out on a blessing with us, even though we live with this. You just never know. You just have to get educated and learn. And if you love that person, you see that person, and God put you with that person, either man or woman, you just, if that person for you, just like when they say when you marry, it's for death do you part, or bad or good, bad or worse. I mean, for the good or worse, you in it. But you got to be educated about it. And then you got to make sure you have your self-care. Some people are faithful to that person to that day, to the day they die. Man faithful to a husband, or vice versa, or whoever, partners or whoever. you know um and understand how that person needs certain space, and they have therapy, and they be doing different things. So you accept that person if you really feel like God put you with that person and you love them. Yeah, it is what it is. And I had a guy, he was a narcissist that I know for a long time, and I was just letting them know, a lot of people deal with mental illness and mental health. Talking about, well, what if you're not dealing with that? What if you found out that you don't have that and stuff like that? And I said, well, I don't know. I mean, what really caused you to go there and ask them that? It had to been something. You just didn't out the blue say, well, and the only way that you approach the doctor is you just let them know, look, I ain't been feeling right. I ain't been thinking right. I hear voices and stuff like that. You just have to be for real. Be the real and be real with the doctor. And the doctor will say, okay, well, I'll put you with a psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist, you talk about what's going on with you. And then they will diagnose you and tell you what it is and put it on the paper. And she had to put you with some medicine to kind of normalize it, you know. And I never been in a mental institution, but sometimes people check themselves in and say, I need to be there. I need to go in there for a week to kind of, because I'm not, and I know I have a peer like that. I talk to a peer, I mentor a peer like that. He goes in and come right out. And that's how I was wondering where you are. You was in my spirit, and I've been trying to call and check on, making sure they staying focused and how they day and weeks going, and just give them, just let them know somebody's there for them and support. And but they know to check themselves in, or they may need me to advocate for them for something, but nothing where I don't go all the way to, I don't know. It all depends on what it is. Go to Congress and write and all that stuff. It just basically, the basic thing, just making sure that they are, if you have to talk to their doctor or advocate for them, or they uh, not psychiatrists, but the therapists, or something like that. You just never know. You never know. So the stigma awareness against mental illness, I don't know if it will ever go away, but you can always still be yourself, and don't worry about what people think and the way they act. Okay, because that's why you have mentors and supporters. We don't help, we just support of what you do. Continue when you could do for yourself, do for yourself. It is work for you to do. You can still have a normal job, or you can be a content creator like I am. I do it full time because this is what works for me. I only time I would deal with people if I have to go speak to a couple people or one on one in person or Zoom or but just to actually I came out the office being in with a lot of people peers that I worked with and they got different levels of schizophrenia. I can't work with that, so I got triggered a lot. Even the staff, we triggered each other. They was all diagnosed and we would work together, and it was just always something. I'm introverted. I just rather just work alone. That's all. I just rather work alone, and stuff. And it works for me. I don't mind. I can't be with a group all the time. It's just like I know someone that, someone I've known for a while, and they expect that when they come in town that, I want to hang with them and all the rest of her people and everything. And I don't want to be bothered with that. I did it once or twice, but it's not going to happen every time. And they got upset. No is no, even for them to come and visit me because it triggers. We both live with the same thing. So some of the things that she do that's normal to her, it triggers me. Like if you talking to a family member and you just holding the phone and they on the phone while they doing their thing, and me and this person is talking. I'm talking to you. My stuff is personal. I don't. And they always calling and interrupt. No. So I look at all of that, and I know they don't drive and they take them around. Their family members and stuff would drive for them and take them around. I understand that. But no is no, because I was trying to get some things done. And that's another thing. Bipolar 1 is manic. It's just straight up. They can't stay still. Only time is when they get up and they take their medicine. And then a lot of times they don't like to take their medicine because they'll slow them down. And then they will sleep a lot. So if you could tell when they don't take their medicine because they real manic. They just, you know. But bipolar 2, we have a high time manic, then we have a low. And so right now, I just feel like, it's accomplishment if I just go in there and take a shower. I may wait a week. Like, oh, I go in there every day it comes. Oh, I go in there tomorrow. Oh, I go in there tomorrow. I mean, I keep myself fresh and brush my teeth, wash my face. But there are some mental health people, I understand why the stigma is because they don't bathe. They may be, like I say, out there in the street, or people, they can live in a group home, or they may have their own apartment. And they just wear all these clothes, and it can be 100 degrees, and push a buggy and stuff. You see all that, whatever downtown of whatever city you in, I guess. I know in downtown Atlanta it is, So yeah, so that's what makes the stigma. So it's I get it, I understand. And another thing about mental illness and stuff, well, the woman goes through hormones. She could be in her menopause. Men is in a midlife crisis. When they get a certain age, they want to ride a motorcycle, just do stuff that is young. And hey, I get it because we go through menopause. We go through that moment because we all have that child living within us. So when we have that child living within us, we still want to do some stuff, And then also the you can go through menopause, and may have something to do with your sex drive as well. It all depends on what's going on with her body. And I know there's a lot of mental illness, or if you have a cold, it all depends on the medicine you take too. But I believe sometimes this is what I've experienced and I observed. that certain medicine can make your hormones a certain way, and you get, aroused and everything. And in some mental cases, if you're not doing it biblically, being being, let's say, celibate, you know, if you're not practicing biblically, then a person of mental illness, they could be really high. They have a high sex drive. I don't know if it's the medicine or whatever, but it just seems like what I've observed. I'm talking about even just the ones that, just well, like I used to work in a center and stuff, so we have to make sure we keep an eye on them, because so that they don't be looking at porn on the computers and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's normal for a man. You in a hospital, and you get to be around computers and stuff. Of course, they're gonna do that. That's a man. But other than that, I have a message that was coming down. Other than that, you just got to stay in control. You got to stay in control, and that's willpower. You got to be disciplined. It's easily said than done at times, but especially when you celibate, you're going through that. When you're celibate, let's say, when you dealing with being celibate, if it comes across your mind, and sometimes, like, if you used to be married and you used to being intimate in the morning or the evening, or all both or three, I'm sure you'll still go through those moments. But when you getting ready to feel that, like they say, go take a cold shower. I heard that cold showers don't do it. I don't know. But when it comes on me, I've been forgot it, because I be like, shoot, I got to do? I got to get out of here today. I got things to do. And it been and went away. And if I'm still laying up in the bed and it happens, like that feeling comes, I just have to pray and just get my mind off of, just come in here and play solitaire, do some art sketches and everything. I can actually feel the lust spirit coming in. I could feel that unfamiliar spirit. And sometimes if I'm laying in the bed and I'm asleep, it will come in and get up on your bed, that spirit. Because I dealt with a bad lust spirit uh, in my high school years and everything like that. And so when I got more into the word and I know how to speak to that spirit, like I plead the blood of Jesus over it. What's not of you, send it out right now in the name of Jesus. And I have to say it about 2 or 3 times, because I can actually feel it, or you know, and if I feel like I'm just really is getting ready to, my hormones is getting ready to, just like I feel like I just want to be aroused and all of that. The Holy Ghost some way just come on in and whoosh, you know. And I just, it's amazing. It is amazing. It's amazing. But if you married and you're in menopause and all that, and you deal with mental illness, I mean, when you marry, you're supposed to be intimate, and unless you're fasting, you you fasting from everything that week or that day or 2 weeks or however it goes, So, but anyway, I thank you, Facebook, YouTubers. I appreciate you. Come follow me with Paula Cook. Mental illness is real. Follow me on YouTube. Like, it doesn't cost nothing to like. Comment about the video. Comment whatever you feel, as long as it's nice and respectful. Um, Share, subscribe, because I want the subscribers. I want to get to know you. I already know some, and we want to start getting doing things together. This is a lifetime. We in it together. We are in this together, okay? So, um, and also share and hit the notification button every time I upload one, okay? And that's every day, even if it's a short, with mental illness, um, living with it, because it's not who we are, but living with it. And we speak in healing, but it is what it is. I talk about the different things I cook when I'm going through my fast with the vegetables that week or two. I do fasting with vegetables, how God will lead me. Like today, I did. It was cans, 2 cans. One was sweet peas and um, sweet potatoes, okay, in the syrup. And then I fixed some rice, minute rice. It's just me. So I just throw something together and I called it Paula's, what is it called? Sweet potato casserole. So, and then in the rice, I had mixed olive oil, a little olive oil, sea salt, and black pepper. And I put that in and let it sit together and it tasted so good. It was so good. So, it's we have to be careful, watch what we eat. We have to get our exercises because we are different, okay? And a lot of the people of mental illness, they are very smart, very talented. Everybody else too, but it's just something different with us. We don't fit in. We be rejected a lot. So it is what it is. Okay. All right, y'all. You know that Jesus loves you, and so do I. Okay. You take care. Okay.